All right, hey guys, it's Tyler from Chasing Junk, and we are going to do our August mailbag. I really love this because this is where I get to show you what I got over the last month, tell you roughly what I paid for it, and you get to see how my collection grows. And as you can see, I have a different way of displaying my collection now here in my office. I got some new bookshelves, just cheap ones off Amazon. I got some little pin lights for them, puck light, to highlight different things. I don't know if I can take this off, but let's see if I can show you a little bit better how far that goes. All right, so there's kind of what we're looking at there in the corner. Then we've got this new movie poster that I got in my hoverboard. I think that might have been this month, so that might be part of today's mailbag. So with those CDs over here, I have Counting Crows up on display today. Then I've got a few more things here with just my different collections and stuff on top. I also mounted my jerseys and cards this month. So here you get to see my full man cave. There's my cards. I've got my GPK in the middle, BYU football autographs on the left there, vintage on the right. Got my little gym here, and then one more jersey here on the side, and then that's for my reviews and stuff. So you get to see my man cave a little bit, which is cool. I love being down here. I work from here quite often. I'm a school teacher, but I do some of my teaching online, and so some days I work from home, and I want to be in a place where I'm comfortable, and this is like the ultimate man cave. All right, we're going to go ahead and just show you a few of the things. They're kind of in preview back here because these are the things I got this month, but let me pull them out one at a time and show you what I got. All right, so we're going to start with my thrifting stuff. I got the book Switch for $2. I got a bunch of CDs here. Let me show you. These were $1 a piece. So we got Frankie Valli, the Beatles, John Lennon, Shania Twain, Best of Eric Clapton, the Beatles Anthology #2, Leanne Womack, and Lee Greenwood. For $1 a piece, I love that going just to the local thrift shop. We have a place called Deseret Industries, and it's awesome. They always have new stuff coming in. I also got all these DVDs. Now, the TV show ones were $4 each, and then the movies are $2 each. So I only got 2 movies, The Continuing Anne of Green Gables and Ghost Rider. So I'm not super excited about either of those, but I didn't have them in my collection. Then for TV shows, we got the first season of This Is Us, a show that I've heard is good, but I've never seen it. And then my kids love Ninjago, and you see I got a bunch of different seasons of Ninjago for thrifting this month. So these ones aren't going to go on display back here. I actually have them in the cabinets for now. I'm thinking of different ways I might display them in the future, but I've never seen a good way of displaying CDs or DVDs. So I'm still thinking through that. I did take all my books out from this room, and they're on bookshelves in other places throughout the house. So this will go, actually this one will go to work with me because it's most of my nonfiction is at work. So, all right, let's go to what's next. I think this was last month, but I did get the 89 Upper Deck. This was the last box to get. There are still 2 boxes that I don't have for my wall of wax. 89 Upper Deck, the high series, which is actually cheaper than the low series, so I got the harder one, and then 89 Fleer Basketball, which is a $500 box. I just haven't ponied up for it yet. I don't know if I will. I did get, for nostalgia's sake, I realized that there were these little packs of cards that I actually collected when I was a kid. These are where I started. You could get a whole pack of cards for 35 or 40 cents, but these ones you could get for like 15 cents. And so I would go down to the local 7-Eleven, pick up a pack of these, and they're just these, it's just all-star cards. It says 30 cents on there, but I think I got them cheaper than that. So we'll be opening these throughout the month and put them as shorts on the channel. So I'm kind of excited about that. Then I did get a few slab cards for my collection, and then a few that are just need to be put in mag cases. I'll start with those. Actually, these kind of are all jumbled together. So I collect BYU football autos. We got a Todd Christensen on the Raiders. We got a Keaton Slovis, who's trying to get in the league right now. We've got Taysom Hill, who's about to retire probably. Kyrus Tonga, who's still in the league. We've got Kingsley Sumatai. I'm mispronouncing that. Sumataya. He's playing for the Chiefs. He's still on their roster, I believe. Then we've got a Jamal Williams, I had a bunch of cards of him, but they were all thick, and so it wouldn't fit in my mag case. So I got another vertical one so I could display it. A Fred Warner, old card, which is auto, so I'm excited about that. And then another Taysom Hill that I can display. So some cool cards there. Those aren't all my, oh, and another Keaton Slovis. I got a couple of those. I did get a couple of vintage cards. We got a Gil Hodges from 1951. This is now my oldest card. It's, what are these kinds called? Lucky Strike. And it's only a 1.5 graded, but I want to collect all my favorite Hall of Famers from the 40s, 50s, 60s. And this one I just put in a little bit. I got it for 20 bucks. So I'm excited to put this up in my vintage case. Another one that's not going in my vintage case is this 51 Bowman. This is a rookie card for Alex Lloyd. And a buddy of mine just finished restoring his old 51 Chevy truck. And so I wanted to give this to him as a gift just because he's a 49ers fan. It's a 51 card. So I looked for this especially for him, and it was only like 20 bucks also. So that's pretty cool. And then finally on my cards, I have got two more GPKs that I wanted for my collection. These are both Series 2. We've got Harry Carey and Split Kit. Series 2 is probably my favorite series from Garbage Pail Kids. So these are cool cards, and I love the artwork. I love having my own display of GPK, and these ones will both go in the display. I'll pull two others out, and I really only have like 3 or 4 left to take out that are just kind of placeholders in there right now. I'm really happy with how that case has come along. So that's it on the cards for this month. All right, and to finish off mailbag this month, I did get a few toys, and I love getting old toys from the 80s. So the first one I got was this Transformer. It's your Lamborghini, and there's a red one like this, and then there's this one. I love these old Transformers because they're mostly metal. They feel like real toys. And they look so cool. So this one cost me, I got a good deal on this. I bid low and I got this for about $15. So this is a pretty good deal on this one. I also got some cars that when I was a kid, I collected these and I found them in box. I don't usually get things in box, but these are Micro Machines color changers. And you see the tag on it. It went on sale for $2.99. Its normal price was $5.49 back in the late 80s. And I remember paying that much for these cards. So I love that they still have the sticker on them. I had to pay about $35 to get this pack, but that's still a pretty good deal to get it in the packaging. So this one will be cool. I'll throw that up in one of those things when I do 80s episodes on this channel. The next thing is actually from the 2000s, which I don't normally do, but this is something my kids are fans of. So we've got a little Strong Bad with the megaphone here. And then I got a whole pack of Cheat Commandos, but I gave each of my kids one of them. So all I have left is Blue Laser, Gunhammer, I think that's his name, and Reynolds Classic. So if you don't know who the Cheat Commandos are, you should search for it, watch it on YouTube. They're hilarious. This is part of an old series called Strong Bad Emails. And if you're not familiar with that, it's because you're too old or too young. But if you're my age, you know what that is, and they're hilarious. Finally, a couple things left. It feels weird to buy dolls, but I remember as a kid, I loved Rainbow Brite. And I was just curious about it, so I looked on eBay, and they weren't much. And I thought, this would be fun to have display. It gives me a pop of color here in my office. It's a little different from the other things I collect. But this was only like 15 bucks, and this was another 10 bucks. So a great deal for these Rainbow Brite toys. I think my sisters had these. I don't remember ever playing with them, but I loved Rainbow Brite. There was a cartoon. I watched it. And so this was a cool find for me. The last thing that I have, and this, I feel silly showing it to you, but this might be my favorite thing I got this month. It was 30 bucks, and it's the 1992 Sears Wish Book. And I remember as a kid, I read the newspaper cover to cover. I loved it. But I also, for the holidays, we would go through these wish books and we would look at what they were selling, and it has women in lingerie, which I don't need to show you, but it has the different styles, the different clothes. It has different toys. It still has the inserts in here, so these are falling out. But let me show you some of the toys. I love this so much, and it's so fun to go back to the 90s and be like, oh yeah, I wanted that. And what we would do in my family was we would circle the things we wanted. So here with the board games and stuff, we'd circle them. Here we have some Lynx games, Game Gear games. I bet Nintendo is close to here. Let's see where the Nintendo game. Oh, look at this. The Game Genie. I love the Game Genie. So it shows you all the different games and the prices. And I started working on a video about the original Nintendo. Check that out. Love it. It was awesome. That was a fun time to be a kid. Look at some of these cordless phones. Isn't that cool? And so this is just so fun and nostalgic to just look through. So I honestly just got it just to browse through, just like a normal book at night. And my wife and my kids are looking through it too. And it's fun. It brings back memories. It's cool to see what things used to cost, what you used to pay for things, what they cost now. For some perspective, a Nintendo game back in '92, the good games cost about $60. Well, if you count for inflation, that'd be about $200 today. We don't normally pay $200 for a game, but that was like the big thing for Christmas is you'd get 2 or 3 games for your family, and it was super exciting. Now we can get way better games on our phones for free, right? And so the world has certainly changed, but there was something magical about playing Nintendo with your friends. It was more of a social activity than just sitting at home looking at a screen by yourself. And those were magical times for me. So it's been fun to look through this piece of nostalgia. I might do a standalone video just on the wish list and show you some of the things that I remember and some of the prices and what they would be with inflation today. That could be a kind of a fun video. So let me know if you want to know more about any of the things that I showed you today in my mailbag. Obviously, my collection is growing. The one thing that I might not have pointed out was my hoverboard back there. I love Back to the Future. And Back to the Future 2, I think, was a trash movie. I hated Back to the Future 2, but I loved the hoverboard. I loved the idea of going to the future. I just don't like what they did with the movie. I think it wasn't awesome. But I love the hoverboard, and so it's kind of fun to have that up. You probably see I have a little bit of different lighting in the background. So I got some fun things this month that I'm playing around with. I'd love to know your thoughts on it. How should I change up my background? What should I highlight? Should I zoom in so you can see those better? I'm kind of far back now, so it's just a shot of my whole wall. But let me know what you think, and I'll keep filming these because I love talking about nostalgia and chasing junk from the 80s and 90s. All right, see you later.